Hello, everybody. It is the one and only, controversial, won't leave the elephant in the room alone, Pacific. I'm just going to throw out some randoms. Somebody wrote me, a nice person from Australia. She thinks that being gay is in one's DNA. We'll deal with a bunch of different things. I don't believe that. I have said before that I believe there are things that can propel people into a certain lifestyle or a mindset. What I'm watching in American culture today is because they're so open to all this same-sex stuff, is that it's dropped all those barriers and what I call those natural resistances to it because the media is flaunting it. There are country musicians and rock musicians and, television and movie divas that are flaunting their, I kissed a girl and I liked it and stuff like that. And what we've done is we're dropping the inhibitions, making it easier and telling kids, it's okay. And you take that away and kids start thinking, well, everybody thinks it's okay. Maybe I'll give it a try. I had a viewer write me and admit to me he was homosexual, and he said he likes watching my videos, and he said, I'm sorry, but I just got to say this, you are hot looking. I was flattered. Most of you guys go, wait a minute, Pacific. That's a guy commenting on you. You know what? I'm comfortable with who I am. And if somebody thinks I'm good looking, what am I going to do? Cringe and go, uh-oh. You know what? We all want admiration. And I have no problem with that. Am I going to go and act out with that person? No. I like women way too much. And I think we guys need to learn to be comfortable around other people. When I was in Hong Kong, I had several guys comment that I was handsome, and they were not even remotely of that persuasion. When I was in Hong Kong, there were Filipinos, karaoke. They brought their girlfriend, and they would go to shake my hand, and we'd be sitting on the bench, and they wouldn't let go. I did some reading on that Filipinos, when they accept you, that they will commonly hold hands with other guys, and everybody said, well, that's really gay. Actually, it isn't. Because I'd done some reading, I let my hand rest in his and thought nothing of it. If he had done that, I would have pulled away and said, dude, what are you doing? You go to Italy and other countries, and guys will kiss each other on the cheek. I was talking to somebody about this whole issue of sexuality in the United States and promiscuity and all that, and it's so funny. Women today dress like sluts and show their cleavage and everything, including Christian women. They star in roles that, if you look at any major white woman actress in American media today, she is flaunting her sexuality, nipples poking through the shirt or no bra. And the movie is always focused on that hot woman. And it's so funny, those same women condemn men as being pigs and perverts, and men are looking at those women because it's natural to do so, and especially when you have less clothing on, it makes looking all the more easier. But then those women are playing hard to get and snubbing all of us American males. And you don't see guys holding hands. That would not be appropriate in this country. If you accidentally even brush up against a female in the workplace, there's this, trepidation. And I've said, at my workplace, there's a lot of people that hug and a lot of people that touch. There's a black woman that goes around hugging everybody. And I said, hey, I want my hugs, girl. I think that stuff is healthy. I think the kids that grow up with appropriate touch by mom and dad, loving touch, not sexual, not perverted, they grow up more well-adjusted, and they tend to resist sexual promiscuous behavior more so than those of us that didn't get it. That is a fact. That is something I have observed. I have watched it play out. When people are forced to be lonely and snubbed by women, it doesn't take long for somebody who would not consider themselves gay to start to be open to being touched by somebody of the same sex, somebody who flatters them. And I believe that with all my heart. I don't think this gay issue is that cut and dry. And I think that a lot of people who have gotten involved in that are not gay per se, but they thought, my gosh, because of the damage to the American psyche and people and what women are doing to men in their pickiness, rudeness, and snubbing us. Males still have a sex drive. Males still want respect and all that. I've talked to many men that experimented with the bi-curious life simply because they couldn't get a girlfriend. These were nice men. They were hardworking men. They were handsome. And I thought to myself, there are too many Christians running around saying that God gave them over to this stuff because, they're just so anti-God. And I said, that is not true in every instance. Yeah, Romans 1 talks about that, but there are other extenuating circumstances that enter into it. Fathers that abuse their daughters, a lot of those daughters tend to become lesbian. Don't kid yourselves, parents. That little girl needs her father to be a right role model too. Otherwise, you screw her up for life. Does it bother me when men say I'm hot looking and I'm good looking? No. I think it's great. I am not a homosexual. I don't want to go that way. I've done my experimentation with it. Some aspects of it felt good. Some of it was repulsive. I didn't go as hardcore as some people because there's just some things in that whole lifestyle that are just flat out disgusting to me. I'm not going to talk about those things. I like women. I like a woman's skin, her body, her hair, her face, her softness. I like all that. But let me talk about something. A viewer wrote about my teenagers and said that he takes exception with that video saying that I was promoting for teens to marry. I don't know if he listened to the whole video, but I said in it, I don't advocate today's teens marrying because they don't have the maturity level. I simply said that teens are given the sexual equipment at a very young age, and I don't believe that was so they could put it on hold for 5 years. That viewer missed the intent and the heart of what I was saying, that if kids were raised to be mature, that they would be ready to marry at a young age. He also said that I was guilty of misandry because I said women should not be in the workplace. My reason for saying that is when women started entering the workplace in the droves in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, then the corporations that sell products started lifting or raising the prices of things and making it so now two people had to work to survive. Am I against a woman in the workplace? I'm not. But when they entered the workplace, I see a lot of social ills and dysfunctions and neurosis as a result of it. Affairs went up when women entered the workplace. Cheating on one's spouse reached record levels when women entered the workplace. And now, because men and women are competing for the same job, now we've got the battle of the sexes, and men, they're not the providers anymore. Some are, because they may pull down ridiculous salaries. But as a rule, I believe in God's way. Is that misandric? Is it chauvinistic? Absolutely not. I'm watching what's going on in this country. Have we gained anything by putting women in the workplace so she can buy her SUV while he buys his SUV and they throw their kids in daycare? I don't believe that's beneficial to society. If you're going to have children, you need to mentor them and raise them, and it's up to the mother to do that and the father together. The father needs to work. The mother needs to be the homemaker. Is that misandric? According to the feminist, it is. But according to God, absolutely not. Back to this whole thing about sexuality. Because we lack intimacy in our society in the right way, people seek for it in the wrong way. That is why we see an explosion of homosexual behavior both among men and women. That's why we see kids getting into premarital sex. That's why, and one thing that is not said, viewers, is what Hollywood has been doing and what the rock stars have been doing. We don't hold them accountable. Remember when Columbine came down, 1999? Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris shot up the high school, killing people, went on a complete rage in there. And after they started digging around into their lives, they found out they loved Basketball Diaries and movies like that. And people started saying, well, Hollywood needs to be responsible. And Hollywood immediately said, hey, we're not the ones. It's funny. The people that work for Hollywood are all about gun control, but yet they don't seem to use any gun control in their dang movies, shooting people up and blowing people's heads off, and they promote violence left and right. That same Hollywood also promotes open sexuality with anybody, everybody, and whoever. They push the envelope all the time, and American society will not criticize Hollywood. Why? Because truly America is lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. 2 Timothy 3, chapter 1, or 2 Timothy chapter 3, starting with verse 1, read all that. And what bothers me today is that Christians think it's okay to watch all that crap. What is amazing is that we get what we pay for. And we have promoted in America the following destructive things: rugged individualism, which says I don't need anybody. We have pushed, and through consumerism and media advertising blitzkriegs, we have redefined what a need is and told people, if you don't have this car, drink this pop, wear these clothes, or say these words, or dress like, or look like, or get behind this football team, or this diva, you're a loser. American consumer culture has been bought by the media and the divas on TV. The people that report your evening news, the women that sit on a show like The View on ABC, and all those shows, they're designed to reprogram the American thinking mind to their way of thinking. And as a result, there are people that sit back and go, how can these kids act this way? Because the media has given them full permission. You know, it's interesting to talk about the media, to talk about, and it's funny, the media does not hold itself accountable. They hold everybody else accountable. They're quick to point out the preacher that got caught in a scandal or the politician that biffed, specifically if it's a conservative one. But when Bill Clinton was caught with his inappropriate relations with Monica Lewinsky, which he denied and lied about, and I didn't smoke, I didn't inhale and all that crap, the media just airbrushed that. But when anything happens involving a Republican or a conservative, and I'm not defending the conservatives, people, so get off your soapbox, the media just paints this nasty, ugly, tyrannical picture of these people. The media can raise up a person. You know what? If the media got a hold of me and they liked me, they could propel me into becoming a millionaire right now just by doing a piece on me. Or they get onto my YouTube channel, they would interview me, and they would down me on the 5-yard line, and they would say, this guy's nuts, this guy is chauvinistic, this guy is a conservative, he's one of these radical anti-evolutionist, homophobic, misandric, non-mainstream, this guy's a nut job on the order of Fred Phelps. Whoa, Fred Phelps? I don't even like that guy's tactics or him. You know what? You know what I'm saying. The media can make or break an individual, and they've done it all the time. Anybody remember Don Henley's song, Dirty Laundry? That song fits American media to the core, the news hounds. I watched the Colorado floods, and I saw some blonde bimbo smiling as she's reporting all this destruction right in our own backyard. It's disgusting how contrived media people are. They are taught to look and carry themselves a certain way. It's all contrived. It's all BS. They're not real. They're not genuine. And I don't care if it's an Asian woman or a black woman or a white woman that they put up there at the helm to be the anchor. It is all complete plastic BS. Are they even affected by what's going on that they're reporting? Are they just simply carrying out dutifully their duties and being quite professional? That leads me to the next thing. Some, not many, but some have commented on my sniffling. If I were to wait until all the sniffles went away to do a video, it might be a while. You know, I don't follow the protocol, and I used to get caught up in that. I always wanted to be professional and wear the right clothes and all that, and I thought, I can't do it. Something in me acts out and says, I am not like that. And I realize American culture is built on an image. If I had a suit and tie and I had a studio behind me with bells and whistles and sound effects and all kinds of cool stuff, and I'm going to be honest, guys, if I had brown skin and a tank top on and my cleavage was showing, I'd have 80,000 views per video or more. That is a fact. I want people to hear the content and the heart of what I say, not be caught up in the image. If there are those of you that feel like I need to be professional and polished, you buy me the studio, you put on the pancake makeup, and you give me the drugs and whatever to keep the phlegm from flowing, and okay, we'll do it. But I'm not going to go for that. That's not who I am. That's another thing about media. Media presents a false image. Have you ever looked at these media people? Even the Asian women, the black women, they got on so much makeup, it's so obvious, and they put it on because the glaring lights are in their face, and I thought they look horrible. Fake and plastic. They look like they're an advertisement for Maybelline or Estee Lauder or whatever. If people don't hear the content and the heart of what I say, they're missing it. Hollywood has done a great job of portraying in every movie that Americans are rich, live in these nice houses, nice cars, have trophy wives, trophy GQ men, and yet that does not represent the underbelly of this country. I have friends that are truck drivers. I have a friend from my childhood, I just called him yesterday, lives in a small town in California. He's just a simple guy, lives with his dog. He and I survived Mammoth Lakes, California, and I respect and I care for him. He makes a living driving a semi. His parents both died. I knew his parents. I stayed overnight at his house when we were kids. His dad worked for the Forest Service. His dad was a neat guy. His mother was a neat woman, and his sisters are alive. And, you know, it's funny. The image that's put forth on the TV has even led many Filipinos astray, and many people around the world that think, wow, everybody in America rich, and if I just get there, what the Filipinos don't realize is they're a domestic helper, and they're going to need a huge 4-year degree and thousands of dollars in debt to get that degree, and then maybe they have a snowball's chance of hell of getting a high-paying, lucrative job. Unfortunately, a lot of Filipinos and a lot of other people depend on the American man to make big money to bring them over, and they just want to sit on their butt and get on Facebook and Yahoo Messenger and play around on the internet all day. And that's a fact. And I am taking a shot because I've met a lot of Filipinos that were addicted to the social internet business. They did it to find a boyfriend, and then they do it to keep in touch with everybody. And there's a lot of women out there that if you do marry them, they're not going to be able to get a good paying job. Their mentality is right here that they're going to do social networking all day and they'll fix you a home cooked meal. Be careful about that. If you're going to marry a foreign woman, marry somebody who's a team player, not somebody who's a child who's going to sit on the internet when you go to work all day and flirty with all the other men out there. I can't tell you how many women, when I was in chat rooms and stuff, that were married, got to America, found out America wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, started writing me because they heard me talking in a chat room, said that they were married to an American man who works all the time and that they have the great life, but they said they hate it over here and the husband doesn't spend any time with them. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, but you thought America was a great place. No, it's lonely here. There's no sorry stores, and there's no Filipinas on the day off to hang out with. I said, yeah, everything you were used to over there does not exist over here. You're not in Kansas anymore. Are people born gay? No, I don't believe that. Is it normal for a person at a time in their life to possibly have a desire for same sex? I think so. I think because we're fallen people, I think that can happen. I mean, I will be honest with you, viewers. There's times I've seen a guy out there with a shirt off and thought, man, that guy's got a great chest. Does that mean that I'm in love with him? Does it mean I'm homosexual? No. There's times I look at the body and go, dang, that's a pretty good looking body there. Now, people are going to say that, oh my gosh, Pacific, are you nuts? I told you, I like women. But I think sometimes guys they recoil too much, they panic. If you're not homosexual, but you admire some aspect of another guy, there's nothing wrong with that. Practicing homosexuality is wrong. Wanting to fall in love with another man is wrong. And when I say falling in love, I'm talking about that homosexual thingy that they do. But if a guy thinks I'm good looking and wants to comment on it, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with people legitimizing a lifestyle and saying they're born that way. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think it is a choice. You know, if a person's born gay, we could argue that somebody's born a thief, and somebody's born a pyromaniac, somebody's born a pedophile, somebody's born a klepto. I mean, on and on it goes. We are all born into sin. That is true. But we make choices. But anyways, these are just some random thoughts. And hopefully they're not too off the wall. With regard to teenagers marrying, I still believe that. If our culture was mature, if people were still in the agrarian culture where we were farmers and this and that, and kids were taught to do these things, then teenagers would be at an age where they could marry. I still don't believe that today they should, because they don't have the maturity level to do it. Girls today are becoming more immature. Their physical bodies are maturing faster, but their mental state is very immature. They're caught up in Facebook and texting and Twittering and silly dust puff in the wind stuff. They are not equipped to build a foundation of raising children or being married or loving their husbands. It's just not in them. There are exceptions to that, but they are few and far between. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.